Okay, that time when it is just a few days away from the most awaited cricket season, not in a year, but in 4 years. I think no one can forget the last final between New Zealand and England. Uh,
The
probably,
barest, the
probably the
barest of
best.
margins.
Yeah, I mean
The barest of margins.
fairest of the
The fourth.
margins, and probably the, if not the best, one of the best iconic one day internationals that said that the ODIs are not dead for sure, right? So in about 3 days, as we are shooting on the 2nd of October, in about 3 days the World Cup will be on live with the first match, and we are right now going to do a quick analysis of how the teams are looking like, and who are the top runners in getting to the final four. Hi, this is Shayantan. You're watching just another cricket podcast. I am with my friends Gopal from Chennai and Devankur from Mumbai. Good evening, guys.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Shantan. Good evening, Devankur.
Okay.
Good evening.
So
Good evening.
so 10 teams are here. I know it's still the passing monsoon, and it's been a little irritating, because typically we are in October, monsoon don't stay so long. We see that the practice matches are getting impacted. I just hope the main matches don't. It's a long league, but still each and every match is important to the teams. I just hope they don't spoil, the weather doesn't spoil the matches. But let me go straight to you guys. Maybe Gopal first and Devankur. Who are your top four picks for the final four, right? And then I'll ask you why. So, Gopal?
It's actually the top three. I can probably be very, very sure. I think the fourth place is still a very, very surprising thing. I mean, many teams are fighting for that spot. So my top three could be India, Australia, and England. And the fourth one is quite surprising. I see New Zealand. I see Pakistan bring may sprung a huge surprise. But I mean, if you just going to ask me who are the ones going to be the top four, it will be India, Australia, England, and maybe New Zealand.
Okay, Devankur. I think you'll probably give a similar answer, but I'll still want to hear from you.
Yeah, I have a coin toss between New Zealand and South Africa this time. South Africa also looks to be a very well-balanced team. And they have what I feel is a good mix of spinners. Spinners is what is going to win you matches here in the later stages of the tournament. When we talk about spin, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, and all the subcontinent teams have got a good mix of spinners. But if you have to look at the foreign teams, I think South Africa has a much more, better mix of spin with Kavre Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj, who've also, proved their mettle here in subcontinent pitches. So I have a coin toss between
Even Markram is
Markram,
bowling decent amount of spin.
Yes. So South Africa, New Zealand coin toss for the fourth position. India, England, and Australia are fixed.
Yeah, I know I asked the question, but I'll still give my opinion. I'm very much in line with you guys. I think the top three teams are going to be Australia, England, India. I don't know which order, but they're definitely going to be the top three. The reason is, in a long format, in a nine league game, you look at teams who can defeat or who can win at least 6 to 7 matches, and I think Australia, England, and India would have that consistency to beat teams that don't expect a lot of upsets over there. But the fourth, I know Gopal, you said New Zealand. Devankur, I was surprised because I don't see a lot of experts talk about South Africa, but I think you're right. They know they've been playing IPL. Quinton de Kock would want to make a mark because it's going to be his last phase of playing for South Africa in the ODIs. Bahua is a good captain and he has been batting well, and don't go by his stature and height and all. He is in good form and he can hit a big. And then I think the likes of Miller, Klaasen, Van der Dussen in the middle is going to be a handful. And if Maharaj and Shamsi can, bowl well in some of those.
And Markram.
Yeah, I mean, Markram will probably have the likes of Markram. I don't know how much he'll be a wicket taker. Will he be bowling 10 overs or not? Right. But
even as a batsman, Shantan, even as a batsman,
actually, as a batsman, yes. Yeah. So
It covers that.
is Markram going to captain them, or is it going to be Bahuma? I think Bahuma is going to be the captain, right?
Bahuma.
He'll be back.
Yes,
He'll be back.
Correct.
Bauma is the captain. He'll be back.
Correct. So I think do you see any major threat from any of the teams to this top, let's say top three teams, right? I mean, do you see anyone defeating these three teams? You have the likes of Afghanistan, who will always come with at least three top spinners, if not four. I hope they play Noor. And then the likes of Sri Lanka, you can't count them off. No one gave them any serious thought, and they still went on and played the finals. So, the likes of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, do you see? Because, maybe they'll not play the final four, but a defeat to one of these top teams here and there, and they can be out of the race. Devankur?
Yes, Shanthan.
I think.
Go ahead, Dipankar.
I think. I mean, it's a long format and a very good format at that. I mean, this is the first time, I think, apart from the Super Six fixtures, wherein all the Super Six teams used to play against each other. This is a Super 10, if you can call it. Everybody playing against everybody, and consistency would make very is a very big factor here, as you said at the start of the show. So I think yes. I mean, there will be certain surprises, but consistent surprises, I don't think so would happen. And so to say the same, who all can surprise the bigger teams? I guess Pakistan, of course, they can be world beaters on their day. Not a top four contender. If they come up, then they've played brilliantly well, which I doubt they'll be actually doing it. And secondly, of course, I mean, there is a very good chance for Afghanistan. They can be the Sri Lanka of when
Don't tell
Sri
me
Lanka
they'll
had
be
won
the
the
Sri
World Cup,
Lanka of 1996.
So 96, right?
So, but then who's going to
I mean,
play the role of Kalu Vitharana and Jayasuriya, giving them those
Sanath
experience?
Jayasuriya. I mean,
Right.
I think
Gurbaz.
their keeper is better than Kalu Vitharana.
Yeah.
Their Gurbaz is a better keeper and a better batsman than Kalu Vitharana. But yeah, I'm just they'll definitely not finish top four. If they finish top four, it will be the biggest surprise of the tournament. And the others are definitely not playing well. So that's why Afghanistan will finish top four. But in terms of surprises, yes, Afghanistan could be a surprising element just because they have got world-class spinners.
Yeah. So let me come to Gopal with a different question. Gopal, this is my thought, okay? A lot of teams, a lot of experts were really giving a lot of chance to Australia and England because of the number of all-rounders they have, right? But in the ODI format and in the way the Indian pitches are going to play, it's going to be cold, they're going to be dew. Maybe you will need more specialists than a lot of people who can do a batter bit and a bowler bit. The bowlers like Mitchell Marsh and Stoinis and Cameron Green, I don't think is going to scare any batsman. And in fact, they're going to bowl at a pace which will be liked by a lot of batsmen. Similarly, the likes of Livingstone, a bit of David Willey, a Sam Curran are actually all-rounders. And they fit the T20 bucket very well, where the batsmen give away the wicket. But in a T20, in a 50-over format, how impactful do you think these two teams are going to be? And is this a place where they missed a trick? Do you think, or you think they're absolutely fine and they'll be the top?
Great question, actually, Shanthan. And but then see, at any given point in time, an all-rounder is an all-rounder. See, I'm not. I mean, if you go back to Australia, they have the luxury of playing that all-rounder spot of Stoinis, Mitch Marsh, Glenn Maxwell to fit in, who can win matches majorly through bat, and if required, they can also chip in, say, 3 or 4 overs or 4 to 5 overs of a spell. Imagine a case wherein you have 4 good bowlers and you are the 5th bowler to fill in these 3 players. So, which means your entire burden of the 5th bowler is not going into that one player. It is being shared with amongst the 3 players, and that which means Stoinis or Marsh will be actually bowling like a T20 affair itself. They won't be bowling more than 4 overs a spell, which they are used to bowl in a T20 match. But I agree that yes, in T20 batsmen will go ahead against these bowlers. But in 50 overs as well, given the composition of the side, say for example Australia, if they're going to play Pat Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark, and Zampa, the fifth bowler have to be targeted against your Stoinis, Marsh, and Maxwell. And that is where probably, if you look at it, Maxwell had got a lot of wickets in the last ODI where he played. He got some 4 wickets there, and that was a very crucial spell. Otherwise, probably India might have even chased that 350 target. It was just Maxwell's wicket. I mean, the bowling ability which stopped. Similarly, in case of England, Shayantan, I believe Livingston has been bowling quite a bit this season, and I mean, of course, there's a slight difference in England's approach. They are going with Sam Curran, who's a really good all rounder, but then their base is more covered as Livingston, Stokes, getting that shared piece. So I mean, in all probability, I find these all rounders to be a great combination for the sides, and maybe India might miss that trick somewhere here. I'm not very sure.
I'm going to come to that part. Okay, on the India part. Okay, now tell me one thing. Let me tell you the top 11 players for India, right? And I think you all will agree. So we will open with Gill and Rohit. Then Virat comes number 3. Number 4 is going to be Shreyas Iyer. Then you have Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Jadeja. That's your top 7, right? I'm leaving the 8th spot. Your number 9, 10, and 11 is going to be Bumrah, Siraj, and Kuldeep. Now you are probably going to play either a Ashwin or a Shami, depending on how the wicket is, right? So in Chennai, you will probably go with Ashwin. In somewhere else, in maybe Bangalore or somewhere else, you'll probably go with a Shami, right? So that's going to be your number 11. I think the good part is that the remaining 4 in the bench are equally as strong and can fit. The only small issue that I see is with Ishan Kishan coming into the team, which he's not a guarantee now in the top 15, you are missing that left-hander in the top 6, right? I always thought that, it was a blessing in disguise that you had a left-hander, someone who can actually, play the new ball if you get early wickets, can play the middle overs and can still score runs fast like a Rishabh Pant. But now with Rahul performing and all, you have this this headache of plenty, but you miss out on the left-hander in the middle. You don't have anyone. So how much is it going to be impactful, Devanku, do you think?
See, I mean, if you consider Australian team also right now with Head missing out, starting couple of matches or 3-4 matches, even Australia is very right-handed heavy. So they would not be having any left-handers apart from David Warner and Alex Carey in the top 7 or 8. None of their all-rounders are left-handers. Ashton Agar is not even in the team right now because Marnus Labuschagne has replaced him in the top in the first 15 also. So India and England definitely will have India and Australia, will definitely have this problem of lesser left-handers, so to say, and this mix early ahead. But that's how India has been playing. India has been practicing, and they don't take that as much of an issue because the rest of the players, I mean, we have seen that they have given a lot of onus, a lot of freedom to Shreyas Iyer, to KL Rahul, who come out and they have started, blazing through. So it is a very clear mandate. Rohit and Gill blazes through. Rohit is going to play like he plays a T20 match each and every game. That's how he's playing ODIs also. Kohli is the stabilization factor. Kohli comes in, he gives the stability factor. He shows that this is how one day scores are built, and that is what his go-to game from start. I mean, he doesn't blaze 20 unless he's not in form, and he's sure that he's not going to get in form. Then comes your KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer. Then only one way of playing. So if an Iyer or a KL Rahul comes with 25 overs left to play, I think they will start hitting from ball 1 itself because they'll be approaching it as a T20 match. Rahul opens for his T20 franchise any which ways. And then you have Hardik Pandya, he knows one way of hitting. I mean, if Hardik Pandya comes in the first 15 overs, then we are in a bit of a strength.
Yeah, so Hardik Pandya coming in means you have already lost what? 5 wickets.
Already lost the game.
4 or 5 wickets.
Four wickets. Four or five you've already lost. Yeah, so that means that we don't have any other option but to build. And who else is left after Hardik? Jadeja, who's not in good batting form. And so to bolster that, I guess an Ashwin might be required to play all the matches. But you're correct. We would not be going ahead with Ashwin in all the matches, maybe because we have a spin option of Kuldeep and Jadeja present. But if Ashwin gives you a better batting stability option than Shami or something, we can actually look at Ashwin playing in all the matches and also have Ashwin come down as a 2 down or a 3 down and
Oh, I don't
stabilize
see
the
that
innings.
happening. Devankur, okay. Now,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, because you know what's happening is going to be every batter is going to bat one less, right? So I
Yeah.
think you still have, it's a 50 over match. You can still stabilize. And, against Pakistan, when you lost 4 wickets, the good part is KL
Exactly.
Rahul coming at number 5 is also someone who opens in tests and in your one day. So he can still play that
Right.
patient innings. So you
Right.
still have that technique down, even if the ball is new. So I think they'll not tinker. But I think Ashwin will play maximum matches and they will try to protect the the three fast bowlers,
Right.
and have them in rounds. A
Protected,
seaming
yes.
wicket, because even Hardik Pandya can bowl good 5-6 overs at 145
Exactly.
kilometers. So
Exactly.
I think you don't so it's not a Shardul Thakur, so you don't compromise over there. Do you see Sky playing in any of the matches, or getting anyone getting dropped, Gopal? Because I'll tell you why,
Um,
because Rahul Dravid said that he is an extremely important part in their World Cup plans. So do you think in some of the matches they're going to change the strategy and make him play?
they might. I mean, if probably if Shreyas is not performing in the first couple of matches, they might want to give Sky a go. And it also depends on. I mean, it also depends on Rahul as well. If Rahul is not performing, have not performed in the first couple of or 2-3 matches, then they might even try out Ishan Kishan. Is my opinion. At this point in time, I think your the lineup that you gave, with Shreyas Iyer coming out of that century against Australia, I think he has sealed his place. But in case if he is not performing, I think Sky might get that odd option. The only problem with Sky, and probably that is the that is how he has. I mean, that is how he has played. Is that Sky is a pure batsman. Had he been a part timer, I think you would have really aced out Shreyas Iyer in the lineup.
Yeah.
If he would have just bowled a part-time bowling like Yuvraj Singh, who's just roll out his arms, bowl some 3 or 4 overs, I would have preferred
Yuvraj
Sky
Singh is
any
more
time
than
over
part-time, okay? He was one of your key person taking a
no
lot of key wickets in 2011 World Cup as well.
2011 absolutely, and he was no more a part-timer in 2011. He was inducted as a part-timer,
Yeah, yeah.
and he went on to become a mainstay bowler for Dhoni.
Yeah.
I think that is a piece that is going to be very, very missed. I think, for India, when they compare the squads of 2011 versus 2023.
Another one point that I wanted to put here is Sky has, I think Sky might feature in games wherein we are playing against Afghanistan or even for that matter, Sri Lanka, who has got more spinners because he's the only guy who sweeps. Rahul Iyer, they also sweep a lot. Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul also sweep a lot. And KL Rahul has been playing well against spinners because that is one issue he used to have. He plays Rashid pretty well. Although he rates him as the most dangerous bowler himself, but he plays Rashid pretty well. But if you see the current crop of players, I think apart from Rohit and Kohli, I think the rest of the other players play spinners pretty well. And playing spin is the most important factor here. So I think Sky might be featuring games, wherein there will be much more spinner-heavy opponents like an
But
Afghanistan or a Sri Lanka.
yeah, but tell me, I was thinking a little differently. I thought that Sky probably comes in grounds which are more batter friendly and smaller in size, like Bangalore, because irrespective of which opponent you play, you probably are going to chase 300 plus, like a Dharamshala, right? And that is where you need someone in the number 5-6 slot who can actually change games, who can give you a 20 ball 50 or a 60 ball 90 100 out of nowhere. So probably, and knowing Rohit and Rahul Dravid, they are not famous for making a lot of changes. So Gopal, I know you mentioned that, okay, if Rahul doesn't perform in 3 matches or someone else, I don't think they're going to change. This is a World Cup, so they will tell the players, here is the plan. And even if they make change, it's not because someone not scoring runs, it's because just to ensure your all players are playing matches during the World Cup, so that come in the semi-finals, if you have to play someone because of injury, he doesn't come and play his first match in a semi-final or something like that. So
Correct.
probably, I think that's what the plan probably is, and we'll see, in next few days, how it starts. Winning the first couple of matches is so important, Gopal, in this format, right? Because you would probably do a calculation of winning 7 matches or at least 6 with good run rate. If you're winning 7 matches, you are through to the 4, right?
Semis.
You will look at, with all due respect, some of the weaker teams like Netherlands, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. So you will look to win all of these 4. And in the remaining 5 matches, you will look to win at least 3. So if you win, so like the India-Australia match, whoever wins pretty much has the upper hand of going to the final 4 so early in the tournament.
Ideally, yes, Shantan. I think in any tournament, the first couple of matches gives you that confidence of going into the tournament, and especially with India versus Australia, and the confidence of the Indian team would be sky high if they beat Australia in the first match. It's not going to be an easy task, Shantan. The reason why I'm saying is the last time India had played Australia in Chennai, Australia had defeated India here. I think they had set some target of about 260, 270, and we were not able to chase that. And I think Zampa was the main wrecker in chief. So it's not going to be easy. It will be really difficult because Australia is also playing really well these days. Of course, they have been coming out of that five match loss, consecutive losses from 3 in South Africa and 2 in India, 2 in against India. But it will be a cracker of a match. The second match, I believe it's against Afghanistan, if I'm not wrong, and then comes the big one, which is against Pakistan.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, the top 3 matches, India is actually playing too big of them. And if India manages to beat Australia and Pakistan, I think you're spot on. We will sail through to the semifinals.
Yeah. Okay. So last couple of questions coming up for this podcast, Devankur. I'll start. My last question is going to be same as my first question. No ifs and buts. Who's that 4th team if you are supposed to put your money?
South Africa.
Okay. So South Africa. Gopal, you want to go with New Zealand?
I will still go with New Zealand.
Okay.
I have a heart out with New Zealand because they have done really well.
So I have a very strong feeling, knowing the pattern of the game they have. I feel somehow, maybe Netherlands is going to defeat some big team, and finally the 4th team is going to be Pakistan. Okay, so they are going to sneak in somewhere. But now I will not go into the explanation. Who from each of these top 4 teams, you'll obviously say New Zealand, Gopal, for your teams, who are the players to watch out for, or who do you think the top 2 players from each team are going to make the major impact for their team? So who are your picks from England? And I'm going to ask the same question to Devankur, so you can start thinking already. But England?
Yeah. So in England, I think David Malan.
Okay.
He's a terrific player.
Okay.
And I will certainly look forward for Livingston this time around, because I think he's probably playing his first 50-over match in India. I've not seen him play a 50-over before in India.
He had a couple of series with England. So you picked Livingston and Malan. Both of them are batters. Livingston bowls a bit. Who are your picks from India?
India, with the recent form, I will have to probably bet on Shubman Gill with the form that he's playing it out. And I will have a choice between for the second player. I'd probably have a choice between Bumrah and Kuldeep. Either of them should really do a crack.
And who's your pick from Australia?
Australia, I'll still go with Mitch Marsh.
Okay.
And of course, on the bowling side, I'll see. Adam Zampa. He's a terrific bowler.
Yeah. And then New Zealand.
New Zealand is a tough choice. I will from a spinner's perspective, or from a bowling perspective, I'll keep my bet on Mitchell Santner. I'll probably love him to do well, and of course Trent Boult is there, and the other player probably from the batsman who can probably change course could be. I'll want to bang on Williamson since he's making a return.
Yeah, that's a big return,
and
Will-
He played really well in
Yeah.
the
Even
warm-up.
today he so basically in the two
Yeah.
practice matches he was not out, right?
So,
So
Yeah.
and it can't be happier that he got injured in IPL the first match and he's still back. And then I think the injury that he had, the level 3 injury, I mean, you don't come back with it before 9 months, and then if you come back sooner, you aggravate the injury. But he looks, he's not 100%, but he looks about 90% for sure. So he looked good.
Yeah.
Devankur, your picks.
for India, I think Rohit Sharma and Hardik Pandya.
Okay.
For England, I think it will be. I think I love Josh Butler. I would want him to, play well, lead the side well, take it to the finals and lose to India. So I want Josh Butler to play well. And yes, a coin toss between Sam Curran and Moeen Ali. These two guys will be very deadly
I think Sam Curran is going to play all the matches or most of the matches.
matches.
All the matches he will play.
All the
Okay.
matches.
And Moeen Ali will also definitely will
Okay.
play all the matches.
Okay.
And for South Africa,
Okay, South Africa.
Quinton de Kock, Quinton de Kock and Heinrich Klaassen. That guy is something.
Mhm.
He plays brilliantly for Rajasthan Royals also. I think he will play his heart out for the South African side. And Australia, I think Australians, I think that Steve Smith is, I think I don't need to name him, but Maxwell, he looks to be in good touch on the field, bowling wise and batting. He'll definitely play a couple of matches well. And I also like this guy, Alex Carey. He should get all the matches and not Josh Inglis. But I think Alex Carey will come 1 down, 2 down sometime in certain matches where there will be a quick wicket loss for a right-hand, left-hand combination. So I think Alex Carey would be the number one.
Yeah. Great.
What about you? What about your
Let
thought?
me quickly predict mine. Okay. So for Australia, I think it's going to be Mitchell Stark for me for sure. He has been the topmost wicket takers for the last couple of seasons in the World Cup. So I still expect him to do that over here. And I will go with Steve Smith because I think he is one player who is going to set the tone right, like Virat Kohli. He can play an anchor role and then, take on later as
Yes.
well. Plays spin well, plays fast bowling well, and has that patience. For England, for me, I think I would. I like this selection of David Malan. But I think I will go for Harry Brook. I think, he is an exciting, talent, and we'll see how, what he stores for us. I think Adil Rashid is going to be very key for them because he's a wicket taker. And what matters the most is between 15 overs and 40 overs. If you're picking wickets, that's when he's going to bowl, right? He is an underrated bowler and he's a leg spinner, wrist spinner. He is going to be my pick. For India, I am going to pick Gill. So I agree with Gopal. I know, India, I think all the 11 players are superstars and obviously we are Indian fans, so we'll feel like that. So we know all that Rohit can do and the Virats of the world can do. But I feel Gill is big match player. He has that calmness. And if he gets going in the first 20, 30, 40 runs, he will make you win matches and it's going to be revolution. I think the whole world is watching at him. And I will go with Kuldeep Yadav. Because again, I don't expect a lot of help for Bumrah. He probably will contain. Siraj, it was we were difficult to not pick him, but I think Kuldeep is going to give you those wickets just like Adil Rashid in the middle overs. And finally, from Pakistan, you'll have to pick Shaheen Shah Afridi because if he doesn't pick wickets, Pakistan looks flat with the ball.
Right, yeah.
And their batting mainstay has to be Babar Azam because again,
Babar Azam.
if he fails, they are going to chase 300 runs a lot of time. If Babar doesn't score runs, I don't expect a lot of the matches to be won by Pakistan. These are our top 4 teams. These are our top picks. The World Cup is about to begin very shortly. We will keep an eye. We'll come back to you again and we'll see how many times our predictions match. Thank you so much today for listening to the podcast. It was fun talking once again. And with the exciting times coming, we will come back with more videos. So till then, keep watching, do subscribe, put in your comments, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.